What's good, Humbl3 Fam? How about y'all come on in and let's have us a little visit here on the Humbl Show. I am Grant Fletcher, joined by my two co-hosts, Brendan Cox, who you all know, and this week's guest co-host, Gregory Hallows, officially joining the call for the very first time. How are we doing, everybody?
I'm doing pretty cool.
I'm great.
Greg, you were actually supposed to sit in last week to talk a little bit about what was going on with some things we have coming up, but you were out. You got trapped in Houston.
I did. For my flight was delayed 3 times
hours
and canceled twice. So I had a wonderful long Houston overlay, which was not nice, but we got a lot done, and it turned out okay. I made it back home, so that's good.
Canceled twice, delayed thrice, and you were here. You were doing a little Preserve Halloween work, is that right?
Yeah, I was visiting some haunted houses and going to say hello to the fine folks that work at Spirit Halloween.
Oh, nice.
And then we went to a couple other cool places like Horror Freak. It's a really cool horror shop in the Dallas area, and kind of just targeting very specific places to go. Usually our promotions are kind of a blanketed thing, but for this show, because it's so targeted, I tried to be more picky about where we went.
Yeah. I mean, that makes a lot of sense to me. It's funny because you said you hit the haunts out there. We have one in Baton Rouge that is, they say it has a really good reputation. It's a very good one. Don't get me wrong. But last year at the Preserve Halloween Fest, I went and picked up Edward Douglas from Midnight Syndicate from the airport. And we were talking about that sort of thing because, they do that annual show at Cedar Point. And I was like, yeah, we have one in town. I was like, they say it's like one of the best in the country, but that's also like in your local market, that's the equivalent of being like, yeah, I have a girlfriend. She just lives in Canada. Like, how do you verify that? You know what I mean? And I was like, he was like, what's it called? And I said, well, it's called the 13th Gate. And he goes, no, that is a good one. They get really good.
Yeah, that is a good one.
So that's some really good escape rooms too, actually.
I met a regional manager of Spirit Halloween stores who managed the Baton Rouge store as well as the New Orleans store and like a handful of others. She just did that for 3 or 4 months out of the year.
Yeah, the guys from the houses October built, they do a really good job of rating, and I guess not so much rating, but promoting haunted houses because they love them. Yeah. So they have a website and all kinds of stuff that keeps track of that. And 13th Gate, I believe, was one of the haunts featured in that movie. I can't remember.
And they were at the first Preserve Halloween Fest, I think.
Yes.
And I never got around to watching the movie, and I meant to, and now you just reminded me that I still need to watch it. I'm gonna definitely check that out.
The original and the sequel are both really good. And it's best if you haven't ever seen them to try to take the time to watch them back to back, because it's like Halloween 1 and 2. They pick up right where the other one leaves off. So it's really it's cool to watch it that way if you can.
Well, do you have like a haunt that like ranks high for you?
For me, not really, because I don't live anywhere near one. I think the closest haunted house to us is a fire station. And it's supposed to be really good. I've never been to it. I've been to a few, but generally it's the ones in Texas. We visited a few haunts while we were there, but we only got to walk through one. And I'm not the target audience for a haunted house. Basically, when I go to a haunt, the group that I'm in, because they always send you through in a group, we generally walk through like we're the police entering a building, checking our sixes, and
You're trying to
we
clear
really-
around the doors, and
yeah, we don't get scared because we know exactly where to
You know
look
where they would
for
be.
where they would be.
yeah, that makes
That's,
sense.
that's not a bowl of worms. That's a bowl of spaghetti. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel bad for anyone that goes to a haunt with me because it's probably not fun for them because I'm talking to the actors the whole time, like, "Hey, how you doing?"
They probably like that though, because it's different from what they get all night. Like it's fun
Yeah.
to scare people, but eventually it's fun to get a different interaction.
Yeah, the best thing you'll get out of me is like, "You're doing a really good job."
Mhm.
that's as
that's
excited
not
as I
bad.
get.
I like that.
Yeah.
See, I've never been to a haunted house, but I've been to supposedly haunted locations, and I'm that guy. Like, you get, your one goofball friend coming out behind the corner going, "Boo!" And it's like, "Oh," and everybody else is like peeing their pants. And everybody's like, "You didn't pee your pants. This isn't you got to pee your pants. Come on."
Like,
Yeah, I've been to
there's always
haunted-
that scene in the horror movie where the one friend's screwing around just to get that cheap jump scare at the beginning.
Yeah.
I've been to haunted locations. Like I lived in Florida and we went to St. Augustine, which is one of the oldest cities, if not the oldest city in the country.
I thought you were about
And-
to say the entire state is haunted. So
No, I mean, there's a lot of haunted stuff supposedly because it's old, but I've visited, former slave plantations, and
Yeah.
there's lots of lore with that. There's supposed to be a lot of ghosts in St. Augustine because of the Spanish, the soldiers that died, and all the plethora of war that has happened in our country.
Well, yeah.
I believe it's possible, but I'm more interested in the history about it.
Yeah. I like that. I don't consider myself to be a believer in things actually being haunted, but like over a decade ago, I used to DJ weddings and parties and things like that. And one time I did get left by myself at a plantation home in the middle of the night in October. And that was pretty eerie. And luckily the gate that let me out was automatic, so I could just drive out. But yeah, that was not that was one of my least fun experiences DJing weddings.
yeah.
Look, we mentioned too, shifting gears here a little bit, because we have Kayfabe Fest coming up in January as well. It's going to be our next show after Preserve Halloween on November 17th and 18th. And we have Ron Simmons coming.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we do.
Who's awesome. And you have the older style WCW championship belt, the one before Big Gold, the one that's more like circular or whatever.
Oh, the story.
So this story, tell us the story of that belt and all the signatures on it.
Ooh.
Okay, so I grew up, my uncles worked at the Omni in Atlanta, so they were around Georgia wrestling, my whole childhood.
Yeah, speaking of history,
they-
that is wrestling history right there.
Yeah, they were security guards at the Omni, so they would walk into Dusty Rhodes and the Road Warriors and all those guys. So when I used to visit my grandparents in Georgia on Saturday around sometime in the afternoon, I don't exactly remember when, but wrestling would come on and it would stay on for literally 24 hours. So I grew up watching wrestling, and I Dream of Jeannie and Gilligan's Island and the 1960s Spider-Man cartoon and things like that. Because whatever TBS played, Atlanta Braves baseball, that's what I watched. So
I
I grew up
TBS out there. Yeah.
exactly. I grew up watching Sting and all these guys. So that was my childhood. Well, once we started doing shows, one of my things I wanted was to get the original WCW championship belt and get all 7 wrestlers, because only 7 wrestlers won that belt.
Yeah, that specific design. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted all the 7 people to do it. So I started with Ric Flair. That was before I knew him. He came to our shows a few times, but I got mine signed. I went to a wrestling convention to get my belt signed. So he's who started it. And while I was there, I also got Lex Luger, to sign it, and I was supposed to get Vader, but he died the week that I went to the show. So yeah, I missed out on him. He was actually supposed to be at that show with Luger and Ric Flair, and I didn't find out till I went, because I went down just for the day. It was in New Orleans. It was when the big wrestling event happened in New Orleans, and they always do that wrestling convention at the same time. So
yeah,
I missed out on him.
the one with the thing, you know, the one. Yeah.
Yeah. So I only needed Ron Simmons and Sting. And there was one, who was the other one? I think it's 7. Anyway, so I found out where Ron Simmons would be, and I went to the show where he was, and we had already worked with him before. I didn't have the belt then, because those belts are expensive.
Yeah, they are.
I'm sure, yeah.
They're like, what,
those
like
are like
$400 a piece?
Yeah, $400 or $500, depending on the width of the metal or whatever.
Yeah.
So I went up to Ron Simmons, and he knew me at this point. So he's like, what are you doing here? And I was like, oh, I'm just, seeing who's here. I kind of like going to shows when I don't have one. And he's like, you want me to sign that belt? I said, I absolutely want you to sign this belt. So he signed it. And then Teddy Long was standing next to him, who used to manage Doom, which was Ron and Butch Reed.
Yeah.
And
he rode up and down the road with the acolytes and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Before I knew what was happening, Teddy Long had grabbed the belt and started signing it. And I was like, what? Which, at that point, I couldn't do anything about it. But like my entire goal was, I only wanted the people who won the belt. And there was never a gimmick. Surprisingly, there was never a gimmick where Teddy Long won the belt. So to this day, in my head, I just go, well, Teddy was the manager of Ron, so I guess it's okay.
It's canon now.
Yeah.
But luckily, he signed it on the back side of the belt, so you only know it if I tell the story. And
yeah,
the best thing about it is it's an interesting story now, but it's one of those things where you can't really get mad about it, because he was just being nice.
He was being nice,
and he saw that Ron knew me, so he was trying to be nice about it. But it's just like, hey, let me take a bite of that sandwich for you,
Hey, look, I see you're having a hard time finishing that sandwich. Let me help you out with that.
That's a decent Reuben.
But like, and like, what do? Like, you're not like, oh no, actually, no, Teddy Long, I don't want you to sign that. Like,
and of course, it wouldn't take much to get the signature off. But at this point, now it's just now
it's a good story.
It's a fun story, yeah. So, and I, eventually got Sting to sign it. So I have everyone, all of the title holders of the belt. So Teddy Long replaced Vader, I guess.
Yeah, everyone minus Vader plus Teddy Long. So there you go.
Yeah, so it evens out, I guess.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Holla holla.
Yeah.
Well, y'all, look, I've got an objective for us here on the show this week.
All right.
We need to put something together here because we've got the Preserve Halloween Fest coming up, and we've got some really cool, interesting people that are going to be there. Caroline Williams and Lock Park Lincoln, people like that. And if you're watching on Patreon, then happy Halloween. And if you're watching everywhere else where it would normally drop on YouTube or your favorite podcast app, then I hope you had a great Halloween. But since we are still looking forward to the Preserve Halloween Fest, what I want to do is I want every one of us here to nominate who they think is the Scream Queen Supreme. Who is the top Scream Queen? And then we're going to have the Humbl3 Fam tell us in the comments below on YouTube, or I'll put a post out there on our Instagram and Facebook. And we'll just get all the Humbl3 Fam out there to vote on our nominees to tell us who picked the best Scream Queen. But here's the thing. Jamie Lee Curtis is not allowed. No Jamie Lee Curtis, but she would win by default automatically. So
that's not, I don't know. I could argue about that.
I'm sure you could argue about that, but what I'm saying is if we're talking about if you're putting it out there on the internet for everybody to see, I've just got a feeling Jamie Lee Curtis would just win.
Well, let's be more specific. Are you Scream Queen or Final Girl?
Oh, you know what? That's a good question if you wanted to put it that way.
or one of each.
No, I think I mean we could do one of each.
Because the criteria for a final girl is very specific.
You're right. It is. Tell you what, why don't we do that? Why don't we do two? Why don't we each nominate a Scream Queen and a final girl? What do you think?
Okay. And I would propose that they can't be overlap.
No. I agree. We all need to have a unique one.
Okay.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
Like we're not all going to nominate the same person.
Correct. Yeah, we're all going to have someone different, I guess. So
Okay.
I've got a feeling then that you want to go first.
Who, me? No, I want to actually go last.
You want to go last? Okay, cool.
I want to hear what you guys have.
Okay, interesting. I'll tell you what. Okay. And we're going by actual celebrities, not by like real people's names, not by characters.
Not the characters. Okay.
Yeah. So, all right, tell you what. Let's think outside the box here. Okay. Then I'm gonna go with my. Well, you might tell me then that this might qualify as a final girl. So let's see. My Scream Queen that I have down right now is Sarah Michelle Gellar. That's who I'm gonna go with.
Okay.
And my final girl. So you got to think about this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think of her
There's
name.
there's so many. That's the problem.
I know. There's a lot of really good ones here.
But there's not a lot of final girls. There's a lot more scream queens.
All right, tell you what. Then I'm gonna go. Here's my final girl. I guess I will say if Jamie Lee Curtis is off the board, then I'm gonna say Neve Campbell.
Okay.
So I have good. Sarah Michelle Gellar as my Scream Queen and Neve Campbell as my final girl.
Okay. Are we gonna like debate these or like have notes? Or are we just?
I think we can put out some good points there. You know, I mean, Neve Campbell. I mean, you know, the whole Scream franchise kind of speaks for itself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As far as the
Oh no, she's a wonderful final girl. I'm just wondering your choice for Sarah Michelle Gellar as the Scream Queen because she's not really in any horror movies except for 2 or 3.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I mean, that's why I guess she wouldn't. That's why she wouldn't
She
be
would
a final girl. Because,
like she'd be a great final girl, but
so?
Scream Queen, I don't know.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, well, I see what you're saying here. So I should actually pick a Scream Queen, like a
No, I'm not trying to get you to change. I'm just
tell you what. Okay, I do have one. I've got a dark horse that I'm thinking of here. I would say then like would you qualify like Vera Farmiga as more of a Scream Queen or final girl?
Well, I mean,
because she was in all those like what's the Annabelle universe?
She's in all the Conjuring movies.
Conjuring, yeah. Thank you. I couldn't think
in
of
those.
Conjuring.
She's kind of the hero.
That's true.
But she's the bad guy in Bates Motel.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. She is the mom in Bates Motel. And I'm trying to think of something else TV she did too now, off the top of my head as well.
See, that's all I know.
Yeah.
I don't know anything else she's in. Oh, she was the mom in Orphan, wasn't she?
Yes, she was the mom in Orphan. You're right. Yeah, she was.
I guess technically that's a final girl because she survives. I don't know.
That's true.
She's a hard one because she's new.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people, I can tell you this now. A lot of people are the comments are gonna be, "Why are you picking new people?"
I know, right? Like people are gonna. I'm trying to think of people that are like fresh in the mind, you know.
Oh, I know, but that's the good thing. I encourage debate. So like, I sometimes choose my answers just so people argue with me.
Right.
Because I want to know exactly what I want to know what they know, and if you go with the easy answer, you don't really learn anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, Vera Farmiga is awesome. She's a wonderful actor. And everything I've seen her in, she's great. Even what's the other? Tess is the younger sister. I think the one from American Horror Story.
I think yeah. I think you're right.
Yeah, she's great too.
I couldn't have told you, but like off the top of my head, yeah. So I'm going with her as my Scream Queen then. So Vera Farmiga is my Scream Queen, and my final girl is Neve Campbell.
Yeah.
All right, those are my 2 nominees. Y'all let us know. And Brandon, do you have any thoughts?
As far as your choices go, no, I feel like both of those are very solid choices.
What about you? Who would you pick?
So as per usual, at least one of my choices are going to be kind of sidestepping expectations. As far as Scream Queen goes, I think I'm playing it more literally than by the rules.
Like who screams the best?
What?
Who screams the best?
Pretty much, yeah. Like just to me,
think I
in
know.
my mental image, like who has the most iconic, impactful scream? And it is, and she is in a very horrifying situation. So I feel like it's nothing that can be outright kicked out. But Cheryl Lee, who played Laura Palmer in Twin Peaks, she has numerous, not numerous, but she has a couple of scenes in both the original series as well as the new series where she does scream, and just the way that they film it, the way that it sounds, the way that it's recorded is very blood curdling. I think you can argue that Twin Peaks is a horror adjacent series, and so I feel like I'm not just too terribly far off. So that'll be my Scream Queen.
She's also great in vampires.
Oh, I need to see vampires.
You know what? It's the bad guy from one of the Karate Kid movies. Plays the very ancient vampire, and Cheryl Lee during this raid. It's a really weird movie. A lot of people don't like it because it's kind of off because the main dude is God, what's his name? It's not really someone you would expect to have been in this movie. But anyway, Cheryl Cheryl Lee ends up being bitten by this guy, and they have a psychic connection throughout the movie. It's really good. But she's great in it. And the whole time I watched it, I couldn't remember why I knew who she was, and then I was like, oh wait, that's Twin Peaks.
Yeah. So that is my Scream Queen, and I feel like my final girl is just, I don't know, like, hey, who's your favorite Superman? Or who's your favorite superhero? Oh, Superman. He's the strongest and can go real fast. Yeah. My final girl choice is going to be Sharni Vinson.
Nice.
From Your Next. Anytime. Oh my God! Just like anytime that I want to see a movie. It is my. Strangely enough, it is my feel-good movie. Like, just, you ever want to see a gal encounter all these obstacles and overcome every single one of them? Just these insane obstacles in her life. I know that I'm describing this as if she is an office worker and she's trying to work her way up the corporate ladder, but no, just every single horrific obstacle that is thrown her way, she's like, I can't really do an Australian accent. Like, oh no, I got this.
Yeah.
Just no matter what's thrown at her, she might get a little cut, might get a little bit of a sprain, but she's got this. She got trained for this. I love it. I enjoy every moment where she is taking charge in that movie.
I like it. It's a good one. If you haven't seen it in a while, go back and revisit. And if you haven't seen it ever, I recommend it. It's fun. All right, cool. So sum that up for us. We had Cheryl Lee and Sharni Vinson. Is that right?
Yeah.
Scream Queen, Cheryl Lee, Sharni Vinson, final girl. Greg, what are you thinking? What's on your mind? What are you turning over there?
Well, the problem is, as some people know, we were going to do a Final Girl festival.
Yeah.
So there is a huge multitude of Final Girls to me. Sharni Vinson was one of the actors I wanted to meet the most from that show. That movie is one of the only Thanksgiving horror movies.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, that is true. Other than maybe Thanksgiving.
Yeah, until that was made. Yeah. Your Next is one of the only like legit Thanksgiving horror movies, but I love the fact that in that she was a survivor. Like basically she was trained her whole life to take care of what happened to her.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's a wonderful, and that's kind of why, like I said, I would argue about Jamie Lee Curtis, because everyone gives her the credit as being this wonderful final girl, but she kind of sucked in that movie.
As any of us would have been in that situation, we all would have sucked.
Yeah, but she went like further than the thing is. She kept surviving after the fact.
Part of the reason to me why Laurie Strode survived Halloween is because Michael didn't want to kill her.
Okay.
I don't think she really did much to protect herself. I think she just got lucky, and he didn't want to kill her.
Poke that dude in the eye.
Yeah, that's true. So, for me, God, this is going to be difficult. And if you ask me again tomorrow, it would probably be a different answer.
Sure.
But Scream Queen, there's so many, like Linnea Quigley, there's Tiffany Shepis, there's just this crazy amount of actor, and it's not tied to just female. Like Justin Long is an amazing Scream Queen.
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, I would say if you're going to nominate Justin Long, I'd say that he would fit perfectly.
Yeah, would you say that like Drag Me to Hell or like a Barbarian?
Well, I mean, even Tusk. A lot of his movies lately, he's been the Scream Queen. So
yeah.
But
I don't think he does conventions, but it would be dope if he did a show.
Yeah, he would be funny. But I think probably my favorite Scream Queen, and I don't even know if she would be considered a Scream Queen, by definition. It's just Barbara Crampton.
Yeah,
I think she would. And I was actually kind of half expecting you to say Barbara Crampton.
Because
it's too, yeah.
Barbara, like, is the anomaly in horror and just acting in general. The older she gets, the better she gets, and the more roles she gets offered, and just everything she's done is, it's worth at least watching.
I brought up You're Next. I was about to mention her, and I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah, but she's another one that, with the Final Girl show, I was very upset that we couldn't do it because I wanted to meet her. So she's my choice at this, whatever time we're recording this, she's my choice right now.
Okay.
There's so many, but I think because of the amount of movies she's been in and the amount of time she's existed in horror, she is just amazing. So Barbara Crampton is my Scream Queen choice, and my Final Girl choice, it's the same thing. Like, I think this could change as we go. Of course, everyone knows Laurie Strode, and Jamie Lee Curtis is wonderful. I really, when we announced the Final Girl show, I was trying to get the woman who wrote the book that coined that phrase. She is a professor in, I think, British Columbia or something. But I think she's even said if she had the option to go back and redo, the whole thing, she would add to, because originally the Final Girl was virginal. There's all these criteria that she had to be like, or it wouldn't fit. And Neve Campbell doesn't fit that mold because she wasn't a virgin. But
right. That was the whole thing, right? She broke one of the rules.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, and I'm glad you said her because Neve's wonderful. She carries this. I don't know how they made the movie without her, but
I don't know either.
And that's, if I was going to pick a new Scream Queen, I probably would have picked Jenna Ortega.
Yeah.
Because I think I'm very happy to see that she's continued in the genre of horror, because a lot of people will do a horror movie and then they never do it again.
Yeah.
They make their name doing that and then they're done. But my Final Girl would probably be and she broke the mold way before it was, thought of as, because she was pregnant. Her character was pregnant in Black Christmas. So she also was Juliet in Romeo and Juliet that we all watched as kids. And the cool thing is she has a daughter that went into the genre realm. Her daughter, India Isley, she was in the Underworld movies. And I almost picked her because of not her daughter, but Kate Beckinsale, because I love the Underworld movies so much.
I think a lot of people do.
We all saw Romeo and Juliet as a kid.
Yes,
in school, I think, until they started banning it because you weren't allowed to watch it anymore. But Olivia Hussey,
in retrospect, it's for good reason, I think.
Well, I mean, there's nudity, but it wasn't anything gratuitous or gross. It was just, I think it was a natural part of that scene. Anyway, Olivia Hussey plays a character in Black Christmas who's pregnant, which, number one, goes against the rules. And this movie was made way before Scream. So I think she was the earliest example of not being a virgin and breaking the biggest rule that existed for Final Girls. But, she made it through that movie. And for me, it's more of a historical context. I don't think she's the greatest Final Girl. I just think it was kind of cool that when was Black Christmas the original made? It was
mid-70s.
Yeah, it was real early, like 74, 75.
That sounds, probably.
She was one of the original Final Girls. And of course, I almost picked the Final Girl from Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
The OG.
I can't even remember her name.
You mean you're talking about the character or the actor?
The actor.
Oh, I could not tell you her name off the top of my head, but I can find out real quick.
But then I almost, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I almost picked Carolyn Williams.
Well, yeah.
Because in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, she literally, holds the chainsaw.
Yeah.
Which is a huge deal.
No, yeah. There's that great shot at the end where she holds the chainsaw over her head and she spins around as the camera pans out. Oh, it's so good. It's such a good shot too. Marilyn Burns was
Marilyn Burns. That's right.
Yeah.
Marilyn Burns survived a lot.
She played Sally.
Chainsaw Massacre.
That's true.
And she, she survived it. Like that for me. The Final Girl has to do something to survive. Actually put forth some effort.
Okay.
Yeah. But there's so many. Like, I go through this list every year to see if there's something that can be added. But when I was trying to figure out who I wanted to bring to the Final Girl show, it was very difficult because
I imagine
it seems like there's so many, but there's not a ton that really fall into that. That's why I started, going with wrestlers and
getting a little more loose with the with the theme. Yeah, sometimes
it's
you gotta,
the strong. But I'm really sad I didn't this is where the regret comes in. One of my favorite movies that not a lot of people have seen is Behind the Mask, the Leslie Vernon movie.
Yeah.
Angela in that.
Angela Goethals.
Yeah, she's amazing as a Final Girl.
Yeah.
So I don't want to keep giving away other people's answers, but that's where this picking the one out of the hundreds that you could choose. I'm very solid with my Barbara Crampton choice, but for the Final Girl, it's a lot harder to pick just one.
I think that's safe. So you're going with Barbara Crampton as your Scream Queen and Olivia Hussey from Black Christmas
That's
being
my final girl.
your
Yep.
final girl. Okay, I like it. Humbl3 Fam, let us know in the comments, or again, check us out over on Instagram and Facebook, and let us know who from that specific list would you pick as your final girl? Who would you pick as your Scream Queen? We want to know how that shakes out, y'all, because like we said, we got Preserve Halloween Fest coming up on in Irving, Texas, right outside of Dallas, November 17th and 18th, and the 18th and 19th, the night before, and the 17th. We're doing a little something at the Alamo Draft House, right across the parking lot from the Irving Convention Center. Which is there any more we can say about that, or is that still a mystery? Is that still a surprise?
Oh, the Alamo thing.
Yeah.
Well, I can give a little bit of information.
So to let you know, this is going to be dropping on November 1st officially, maybe on Halloween Day.
Oh, nice. I think we should do it on Halloween Day. But
okay.
The movie that we're showing is it's a remake of the classic Nosferatu movie. But the character made famous by Max Schreck will be played by one of our guests, Doug Jones.
Whoa!
Yeah. So that's what we're screening. We don't know the time exactly yet. I do know that tickets for this are only going to be $10, which is an amazing deal for the Alamo.
Yeah, go see any movie at any theater for $10.
Yeah. So
and you're gonna get to watch it with with the star of the movie.
Yeah, Doug's gonna come to the screening and do like a 30-minute Q&A before. He's not gonna do autographs or anything like that because we're doing that at the show, but he's gonna come introduce the film and take some questions before, and then we're gonna watch probably one of the most influential movies that ever existed, which by all intents and purposes should not be a movie that any of us have ever seen because it should have been destroyed. So
crazy.
We're very lucky that it even exists.
Yeah, and you can watch it for free on YouTube, the original, I mean.
Exactly, so
it's wild, Yeah, it's like so like he did this, the director did this with the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari too, where he like scanned in the movie, or like the frame, maybe the I don't know, the backgrounds or something like that, and just inserted the actors into the movie. And so he's doing the same thing with Nosferatu, and so this is like brand new. Like it's not, I don't think it's officially out anywhere yet, right?
No, from what I've read, it was an originally crowdfunded movie that never was released. So the director owns all the rights to it. So there is no studio involved. It's just a guy that, from what, seems, he really loves movies from the 1920s because he made two of the most influential movies that existed from them. He remade them. So here's the fun fact, though. The same guy who directed this, that directed The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, Doug Jones is in both movies.
Whoa, okay.
I didn't realize he did that one too, but it makes sense. That's how they would know each other.
Yeah, Doug played Cesar in that movie. He wasn't Caligari. He was. I think it's Cesar. I don't know how you say it, but I guess their collaboration on that led this guy to say you'd be a really good Nosferatu.
Yeah.
So that's how it went. But I'm interested. I think after watching this Nosferatu, I'm probably going to look and try to find this other movie because I love the old black and white stuff.
Like
I grew up
and all that stuff.
Yeah, I grew up watching Turner Classic Movies, both before and after he colorized stuff.
Yeah.
I fell in love with James Cagney movies, all that old gangster stuff. Like, that was my guy. James Cagney was, as Angels with Dirty Faces is one of my favorite movies of all time. And James Cagney is perfect in that. So I grew up watching a lot of black and white movies. So I'm interested to see. And plus, Doug is so good in makeup.
Yes.
Like every character he plays, he does wonderful. Like he's in what we do in the shadows, and he's amazing.
Dude, that character is so good.
Yeah, and then you go back to there was this show he did where he was an alien, and I loved it. And it only lasted, I think, one season, but he played a character because it was this alien race that took over this town, and this human family moves in because the house is very cheap and they can't figure out why. Well, they're surrounded by aliens. So Doug Jones is one of the neighbors, and they all took on sports names as their real names. So Doug played a character named Dominique Wilkins. And
that's good.
I love that because I'm from Atlanta, and Dominique's one of my most favorite basketball players of all time. So,
yeah.
But he did a really good job in that because, I mean, Doug kind of looks like an alien because he's real thin and,
tall and thin.
His arms are like 10 feet long. So he plays, and you can see him through the makeup. Like,
yeah,
he does such a good job. And I really wish, one of the biggest regrets for Doug for me is he was in that Slender Man movie.
Yeah.
He's amazing as the operator, but the movie, I wish they would have let the original Marble Hornets guys do it.
Yeah.
But he's great.
Well, I mean, I feel like if the original Marble Hornets guys did it, they would not have shown much of Doug.
That's true. He would have been a waste. But
yeah, there would have just been those like little, fleeting shots of him here and there to build the tension.
Yeah.
But I bought that movie only because Doug Jones was in it.
I mean, that makes sense. He makes a movie a worthwhile purchase. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
like,
it's
what
funny
is
you
that
mentioned
movie?
him being tall and thin, because we talked about it a little bit at Alabama Comic-Con, how he was in Batman Returns. And, he's like, he goes, I think my the name of my character in that movie was just Thin Clown.
Thin Clown,
He said, which is appropriate because that's what I am. So, so that was pretty good. He's just awesome. You know what I mean? Like he's just a like really. If you meet Doug Jones, which you should come to the Preserve House.
He is a sweetheart.
He's just a special person. You know what I mean?
He's great.
America's sweetheart.
There's no about it, man. It's awesome. Well, look, we are getting the signal to wrap up, and I think we should play some trivia here to close.
I wonder who's gonna win.
Yeah.
Hey, you might.
I didn't realize.
Might be a category I don't know.
Well, the problem is I didn't realize that Greg was going to be sitting in when I wrote this game, Brandon. I'm sorry, but it's a movie game.
Sorry,
it's
Brandon.
called Sequel to The Quickening. Do you remember the rules to this game, Brandon?
Yeah.
All right, look.
No.
Okay, so what it is I'm going to name a movie, and then you have to tell me the direct sequel to that movie.
Yeah, that's right.
But it has to be the exact name, the full title. Yeah. If you're close, then I'll give you a mulligan. But if you're wrong, you're just wrong, and I'll be the judge of whether or not you're close.
I'll be the judge of that.
Brandon, I'm gonna go ahead and let you go first because I do think you are a little disadvantaged in the movie trivia department here because Greg has seen every movie ever made twice at least. So Brandon, what is the direct sequel to Fantastic Four, the 2005 version of Fantastic Four?
Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer.
That is correct. Point.
Yeah.
See, I picked that because
that's
Doug Jones. Yeah, Doug is the Silver Surfer. All right, Greg, here's yours. Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood.
Oh God. You gotta give me the long ones.
Yeah, I did.
It's so I gotta say the whole thing.
Yeah, Lar Park. You do. Lar Park Lincoln is in Part 7, right? So what comes after that one?
Good Lord. Is it Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan.
That's correct. Jason Takes Manhattan. Nice. Nice. Okay.
I'm not good at figuring out which one's which.
No, once you get past like 4, it's like, geez, where are we exactly? But I remember Jason Takes Manhattan. Like, of the later sequels, I probably that one probably sticks out in my mind better than any of the other ones. You know,
I'm still trying to find the boombox that he kicks over.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that exact model. That's great. Man, I'll tell you what. Just as an aside, My Hero Con Alabama back in Birmingham earlier this year, we went down to the hotel bar and we were hanging out. You know, you, me, Moonbeam, a couple other folks, and Matt was there. And we went back up to the room afterwards. And like, I was like, man, I'm so exhausted. I'm ready to just pass out. And when we got up there, the TV was on and Jason X was on. And I was like, well, I guess I'm just going to go ahead and finish Jason X then, I guess. Which, like, because it's weird, because it's not a great movie, but I can't help but watch the whole thing if it's on.
Oh, dude, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
Oh, yeah. The concept, amazing. All right, Brandon. Hellboy. The first one with Ron Perlman and also Doug Jones. What's the sequel?
Oh, I know that there's a subtitle. I really do.
There is.
Yeah, it's.
Greg knows it already.
No, I don't actually.
Oh, really? Okay.
Well, don't say that. Then I could just like, I could get close. And you're just like, I don't know. And like, well, Brandon was the closest.
Let's see how close you think you are.
I think the word hell, I mean, other than Hellboy, I think it's, I don't know. Okay. Hellboy 2, Hell's Army.
No, that's not it. Greg, do you have a guess?
Shoot, I can't remember. I know what it's about. It's those two weird albino brother and sister.
Yeah.
But I can't remember what.
The Elf Twins.
I got
Hellboy 2 nonsense.
I said the Elf Twins. Yeah.
Yeah. It's. No, I don't remember. I could guess like Satan something, but.
All right. So Brandon, you were on the right train of thought. But you weren't there.
Yeah.
Hellboy 2.
I knew he was close.
The Golden Army.
That's
it.
It's those steampunk type things. All right, no point for that one.
Yeah.
All right, Greg, I'm going to go to you on this next one. Pirates of the Caribbean. Dead Man's Chest. Bob Elmore is in that one as the executioner.
Curse of the Black Pearl was the first one.
Correct.
What did you say this one's called?
Dead Man's Chest. What comes after Dead Man's Chest?
I never saw one after that. Because I didn't really like those movies. They all seem the same to me.
Do you know any of the titles at all of any of them?
Oh, I knew Dead Man's Chest and I knew Curse of the Black Pearl, but the third one, how many did they make? 3?
Like 5, I think.
Oh, was there? See, I thought they only made 3.
They made at least 4.
I have no idea. Like, I wouldn't even try to guess because it's gonna not even be close.
Brandon, you have a guess?
I've never seen any of those movies.
Not even the first one?
Not even the first one. Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End.
Brandon.
At World's End's a great movie.
Brandon. Yeah, that's right. At World's End is correct.
Oh my gosh. I almost made this PG film into a PG film.
Yeah, they made 5 of those. We started with Greg on the last one, Brandon. So I'm going to go ahead and start with you on this one because Brandon has 2 points to Greg's 1 point so far.
Did all of them have Johnny Depp?
Yes. Yeah, he was in all of them.
But the other guy wasn't, right?
Orlando Bloom? I think Orlando Bloom might have been in all of them.
Orlando Bloom had better things to do.
Maybe he dropped out after the third one.
I think after the third one, he called it done. So
okay, yeah. He was like, I got Lord of the Rings money. I don't really need all this.
Yeah.
All right, Brennan. I'll start with you on this one here. Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. What comes after that?
Are you what?
Oh, screw that, dude.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
I'm lost. I
Shoot.
have I don't know any of them. You're gonna win, Brandon, because I don't know none of this crap.
Yeah, dude. Like, here's the thing. I don't watch Disney movies. So yeah.
You never
those
seen
aren't-
Star Wars?
I
They
saw
were Disney when they were original.
man, them white folks got too much money. I don't pay them anything. Let's see.
Just say something piratey. Maybe
See, that's the thing. I don't even have anything like funny to say.
Walk the plank, homie. That's the name of it. Walk the plank, homie.
Dude, I think that was the title to a house party film.
Keel Hall on Vacation. That's the
Pirates of the Caribbean. Johnny Depp, take a dang shower. You look like you need it.
He does, but that's not it. Nope. Greg, you have no guess at all? Like nothing whatsoever?
I'm gonna try. Let me think of some pirate crap.
Yeah.
It's like something to do with the ocean, maybe.
Okay.
And what's the thing about pirates? They tell no tales. Dead men tell no tales.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think if they gave it away at the ride, because I rode the ride.
It's probably somewhere in the ride. Like there's so much dialogue in that ride, you know.
Yeah, because I mean,
they tossed the Blu-rays.
They made the
kids.
pirate guy look just like Johnny Depp.
They did, yeah. They added Jack Sparrow into the ride in a couple spots.
God, I'm trying to trigger my memory of all the useless crap in my head. Because I'm sure I saw the title somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I keep thinking something tides.
Okay.
I think that sounds right. Pirates of the Caribbean. Which one would it be?
It would be the fourth one. Yeah.
Oh, but that's not in the title, right? Pirates of the Caribbean 4.
No. They don't number them. Okay. Correct.
Pirates of the Caribbean. Stranger Tides.
I'm gonna give you a mulligan because you're very close.
Are you serious?
Yes, you are.
Oh, that was literally just stringing words together.
Well, yeah. So what's it called?
What's it actually called?
No. You try one more time. I'm gonna give you the mulligan because you're so close.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
You're missing like one thing. If you get this, it'll just be officially a tie because I don't have a tiebreaker for y'all.
Oh shoot!
I didn't expect
On Stranger Tides.
That is correct.
No!
Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. Tell you what, let's look.
Is there one called something about Dead Men Tell No Tales or something like that?
That's the fifth one.
Sure.
That's the fifth one.
Oh, is it? Okay.
So when you started to say it, I thought that was going to be your guess, and I was going to be like, "Oh, you skipped over one." Okay. I like how you I like how you stumbled ass backwards into an answer and tied up the game.
It worked out.
I got so much useless crap in my brain.
Like because you've seen all the trailers. You may not have ever seen one of these.
Yeah, see, I think that's what it is.
Have you seen the trailers and the posters
are up somewhere?
Yeah, the posters go up everywhere, and they're not. You know, these other ones aren't that old, so like, you know, you would have known. Wow, we wound up in a tie, but that's okay because it doesn't really matter because we have another competition. Where the Humbl3 Fam is going to be just figuring out who they like best out of our Scream Queens and our Final Girls. Right. So
yeah,
we're gonna see how we did, everybody. Humbl3 Fam, y'all let us know. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and follow us on all of our social media platforms. And hey, check it out. We're gonna be at the Preserve Halloween Fest this November on the 18th and 19th, and we're also doing something cool at the Alamo Draft House there in Irving on November 17th. So y'all definitely check that out. PreserveHalloweenFest.com is where you can get your tickets. Greg hosts the Preserve Halloween podcast as well, the Halloween Preservation Society podcast. So make sure you're checking that out and following that on the socials as well, because it is a good time. We'll see y'all back here next week for another visit here on the Humbl Show. But until then, stay humble.